Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
Holla, yeah. Hey, holla, yeah. Watch me do my dash. Watch me do my dash. Watch him do his dash. Watch him do his dash. Watch her do it dash. Watch her do it dash. I'm moving side to side. Throw my other hand. Holla, yeah. Holla, yeah.
Oh, I went earlier.
Oh, we learned how to dance here too at the morning score.
We need to do like I need to do a montage of our opens.
Thank you guys for watching The Morning Score, your top of day fix for professional and college sports and gaming. Periscopers, you watched us dab on them. Guys out there watching live online on ubnradio.com. We were dabbing on them like Cam Newton. We're going to get to that a little bit later. What? I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and Snapchat at Erica Renee D.
I'm Trevor Anthony, and you can find me at Trevor Anthony on Twitter. And hit up Brother's YouTube channel, YouTube.com/The Trevor Anthony.
Yeah. The as in the. The as in the. The as in the.
T-H-E.
And you guys can find me on all the social media platforms. IAMSTEFZ. Thanks for the love. I love talking with you guys.
And as always, Periscopers, thank you guys for hanging out with us behind the scenes before we start. But you guys, I have to hang up with you guys. So make sure you go to ubnradio.com channel 1 to finish watching this episode. And follow all of us on The Morning Score at The Morning Score on Twitter, at The Morning Score Show on Instagram. To join the conversation on Twitter, hashtag TMS Talk. Also follow us on YouTube, Stitcher, and iTunes. Ronda Rousey got knocked the F out.
You know it's funny, and I know that everyone was saying this the day after, but I was watching a fight, and I was watching it with someone, and she was like, do you think this girl actually has a chance? Like, right before the fight, and as soon as I saw Ronda Rousey's face, like, as soon as it was, because I mean, I don't know. I feel like, sorry, that's me blowing up. My phone, I shut it off. But as soon as I saw her face, I said she's going to lose. And this is why.
Wow.
Because every other time I've seen her fight, as soon as you see her, it's like, like there's certain people when you're in the room with them, and there's certain people when you see the energy just like comes off them. You can't hide from their energy. Mm-hmm. And she's had that every single time, from the way she walked out, from this, that, and the other thing. It was just... To me, there was a complete difference, whether it was some emotions that took over and how she didn't shake. Like it just seemed like she wasn't as focused right from the beginning for me. And knowing a little bit about Holly Holm and her background and the way she looks and the people I was watching with, they were like, and I was watching. Actually, I was watching with some on Periscope because I didn't have the fight, so I watched other people.
Thank you, Periscope.
The fight. Yes,
Shout out.
Periscope. It was like plans got jammed up, and I was somewhere, and I was like, I need to watch the fight. So, and everyone was saying like, oh, she looks like a crazy woman, Holly Holm, walking back and forth, like she was before the fight.
Yeah.
But she was zoned in. And Ronda was
zone.
not. And I have to preface that by I love Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah, you're a fan.
I am such a fan. I love what she stands for. I mean, a lot of people I don't think are familiar with her background. We've all got past, we've all got stuff, but the struggle was real for her, and the way that she has overcome so many things in her life to be who she is.
Okay.
Of course, there's somewhat of a chip on her shoulder, but what she does and what she tries to stand for, and the things she does for women, for sports, and the way she's stuck up for herself with Floyd Mayweather and all this stuff. Like, I am a very big fan of Ronda, so no disrespect. Every champion's got to lose, and it's how you get back up. But I feel like from the beginning, I was worried. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, snap.
Trevor, what do you think?
Yeah, she usually has that crazy Ronda face.
Right. There's like something about her face
Crazy
and her
eyes.
energy.
Yeah, crazy eyes. And you're just like, oh, shit, get
It's
out
like-
of the ring, Holly Holm.
It's like, get out of her line of sight because you'll melt.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing is I was a huge fan of Ronda, and I still am, but reading, it's so funny when you lose all these people coming out of the woodwork. but her former manager's coming out and spewing all sorts of stuff.
Darren Harvey said I created a monster.
And that's the
yeah,
thing.
but he's a dick.
He may be a dick, but is she really not like giving him any love? I mean, I don't know the story behind it, but when I was reading it, I was like, man, this is really disappointing.
Yeah, but when you read that story, it's disappointing. For me, it's more disappointing what he said. Like, what if you read that closely, what he said, and I don't have I do have the quote. It was kind of bittersweet. After she lost, part of me was elated and part of me was saddened. The part of me that was saddened was that once I identified with representing the top female fighter in the world, no longer do I have that title. How freaking egotistical is that? It's all about him.
I disagree because I feel that he and Ronda had a close relationship. He felt like, he even said, that was my daughter. Like, we had a father-daughter relationship, and now she's so big for her britches, she can't even give me
she's definitely big for her britches.
Any credit. So if they really did have that kind of close father-daughter relationship / manager-trainer relationship, trainer-client relationship, and she now completely disregards and dismisses his effect on her like success.
But still, he would have said that rather than saying that he's not going to be identified for representing a champion. He didn't say any of that. He said he's upset because when it comes to him, he's not the one that trained Ronda Rousey, the champion, the undefeated. He's the one.
But that's because where she is now is because of him. So I think that was his way of saying, I'm sorry.
And I think earlier that's one quote. And you're right. That's a crazy quote. But even earlier, he said that he was disappointed that, she just left him in the dust and she doesn't give him any credit. And they're in some big court battle. This reminds me of Rocky V. Between Tommy Gunn and Rocky Balboa.
I get all that too, and I get that there's a lot of other stuff, but for me, that quote stuck out because if it would have been the part that saddened me was when things worked for us, she was a champion. There was no... because clearly between the two of them, there was the part that was good.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for that, it was more about just him. And I feel like you gotta know, man, when you're training. I mean, when you're managing or training, whatever they call it, both of them,
Yeah.
But when you're doing that to an athlete like this, like there's got to be a certain amount of cockiness that comes with these athletes for them to be champions.
I agree.
So if he's getting his feelings bent over that, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more stuff, court and stuff that we don't. I'm sure there's a whole nother side that we don't know. But this quote was the one that stuck out to me because there was a million other ways to say.
See, I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by it because think of all the NBA champs who have shooting coaches or who have physical trainers who help them become the successes that they are in the league or the association or whatever. You would never want, I don't know, let's say a Shaq or whoever trains with Kareem to be like, oh, now I have a 90% free throw shooting or I have a perfect sky hook shot and forget about Kareem, even though he taught me everything I know. Like, you don't want to shit on the people who got you to where you are.
Totally, but this isn't what that's not what he's saying.
But that's just one quote. Like in the whole article, he was.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know the story, so I don't know if he's lying or not.
This one quote showed me that a lot of the other stuff was a little bit egotistical and more dramatic.
Oh, I think he's a total egomaniac.
I think Ronda Rousey is a. Excuse me.
I think they're both egomaniacs. I got angry. Fired up on this Wednesday.
That's the thing. When it comes to business, I feel like when you're a manager or a trainer of a talent like this, when you're a manager or a trainer of a talent who really, let's break it down. What is UFC? Fight to the death. Seriously.
True.
It's not boxing. It's not anything else. So when you're managing that type of personality, you got to have a little bit more of a backbone.
Oh,
you got to
totally agree.
Business. That's all. From a business standpoint, it's just to me kind of a little.
Well, I found it disappointing because I hate any athlete. Well, I don't hate. That's a strong word because I don't hate Ronda Rousey. I like Ronda Rousey. I'm just disappointed in her because I'm disappointed in any athlete that gets to a level, has somebody staying on their couch, bringing them up, and then boom, see ya.
I mean, it's cool for school for
it's
you.
It's a whole Facebook thing. Like, what's his face? Who created Facebook?
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Like, that guy's a dickhead. Like, his boy who funded Facebook for him is now out on the road. I mean, he's a multimillionaire. But
do you use Facebook?
Yes. No.
That's why things like this are okay in the world.
He didn't need to bounce his buddy.
Right, but the thing is, we use Facebook, so we don't tell Mark Zuckerberg that what he did is wrong. We don't tell Ronda Rousey what we did is wrong. We praise athletes that are undefeated in this, that, and the other thing. So is it all really her fault, or is it a fault of the media, of everyone at large, that this situation occurs?
Well, I think that's way too big of a, because I still use like Microsoft and like all these, somebody's stolen it or kicked somebody. I'm just saying I'm disappointed in it. I still need to use it.
Well, you're disappointed in
right,
Ronda
but I'm
Rousey
saying
or the
that
trainer.
I don't think that's
I'm
a
disappointed
valid
in Ronda.
Like that's not necessarily, that's business. And for business like that, like, we don't know what this other trainer, maybe Ronda wanted to, know this move and he couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know all the stuff. So the bigger picture is that when it comes to business, for whatever reason, she decided, I know, I don't want to say it on air, but one of my friends was a musician, and in order for her to get signed, and she's a huge musician right now, she had to cut her whole band. And she did it.
Hey,
and that's a dick move, but she did it.
But that's fine. It's how you do it, though. And I don't know the story. I'm just saying, if your friend just cut them and then never gave them credit and like pissed on them,
and that's shady.
That's different.
And I think Ronda Rousey's character has been in question for a while. So her old manager, trainer, Darren Harvey, saying this is consistent with how we've seen her become too Hollywood. We've kind of seen her become too arrogant. And I think that to be a champion, I think you have to have a certain air of arrogance about yourself. Because there's no champion out there, whether it's NFL, basketball, hockey, who doesn't have some particular air of like self-awareness. So I get that. Yeah. But you still, even if you have to be cocky to the public, to like the public eye, you still want to take care of the people who helped you get to that point.
Right. And I'm saying with that point, I agree with you that that's what's happening with Ronda. Like, you got to think about it. Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, and again, with all due respect, I love Ronda Rousey and what she stands for.
That's your girl.
But in the same sense, when you lose a fight like this and your priority is to go film a freaking movie, like, she's going to film Roadhouse right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I already have a problem with them remaking Roadhouse, first of all.
Right.
But that's a whole other conversation.
You know what I mean? It's like when you're and I get that there's a crossover.
Don't do that to me right now.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
You gotta have crab legs and whatever and Roadhouse.
And watch Roadhouse.
And pumpkin pie and patty pie.
Yeah.
Let's write it down.
No,
we gotta write this down.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like her focus clearly has been distracted by these red carpets, by this, by that. And it's like, there's this great quote that my coaches used to tell me that, desire alone is not enough. Mm-hmm. But the lack of desire is, sometimes the underdog will snatch victory simply because they wanted it more. And Holly Holm wanted it more.
Dude.
And she doesn't need the limelight. And who knows, will she be the next face of XYZ because that's the way business works and that's the way money works? Possibly. But Ronda, she's going to film a movie right now. And again, will it hurt her? Will people not want to see that movie as much? Because now it's like, all this stuff's coming out. Like, it's going to hurt her fame and stuff too, I think.
I think people will still respect Ronda, and she's obviously a great fighter, but I think there is a little air that has been let out of her balloon because she not only lost, she got her ass kicked.
She did.
Like, she was just getting pummeled.
With
it almost looked like she didn't know how to fight.
Foot to the face.
And Holly Holm was just taking it to her. It wasn't like Holly Holm got some lucky
She was
kick
nervous.
that knocked her out.
I think she was in her head the entire time because you never see that from Ronda. She was chasing Holly around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you don't really see that. It's like you see they come in, Ronda takes them down, it's over.
Well, and I think
Pretty
that
much.
probably got in her head like, oh shit, we're going in round two?
Yeah, round two, exactly.
What's
and
round
then
two?
again,
Yeah.
like, as soon as I saw her, I was like, this is bad. And then as soon as 30 seconds went off the clock, I'm like, oh, this is real bad.
Yep, because only 3 of her fights up until this point had lasted longer than a minute.
Yeah.
2 were over in 16 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Of course, she was undefeated. Now she's no longer undefeated. If this goes into either a trilogy or just a rematch, who do you guys have? Let's say, who do you guys have in a trilogy fight? So 2 of 3.
The other thing, do you guys know why she didn't bounce the gloves?
No, I was curious because that disappointed me too.
So Ronda didn't knock gloves with Holly. Why? Tell us why, Steph.
So apparently, and again, this is all what I read, so whatever. But apparently, Holly Holm, I don't know if you guys know Ronda's story at all, but her dad committed suicide when she was 8. She struggled with an eating disorder. She had drug addiction problems in her late teens, early 20s. So she's dealt with all this stuff, probably coping with that. Holly Holm made some comments about her family and about all these situations. And I feel like that might have gotten into so Ronda's not her statement, but what I've read is pretty much, I get it's the sport, but my family is more than the sport. So when you disrespect my family, I'm not going to give you that respect.
But you know what? Men do that all the time. Like men get into each other's heads on the football field, on the basketball court. Boxers,
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that for her.
Well, I'm saying like
there was in her mind more of a justifiable point. Not that we justify it or not, but there was something where
you want to be a
champion.
champion. You want to say that you can get in the ring and knock out any man, including Floyd Mayweather. Then you want to be a man on Monday through Friday. Then you be a man and take it like a man when somebody disses your family. Because again, men do it all the time in professional sports. They talk about each other's babies' mamas or talk about I did this to Lala. Yeah. So it happens all the time in sports. True. You're not immune to it, Rhonda. I'm sorry. You just you were introduced to met your match.
Well, it's crazy because who was the woman that she knocked the shit out in like 30 seconds before had said something about Rhonda's dad too? It's like
it wasn't Aisha Tate though.
No. It was. I could see her face.
First of all,
with the braid.
Can we talk to Maisha Tate? I'm looking at you, Maisha. It's one thing to just yap on Instagram when you got your ass beat twice by Ronda Rousey. It's like, shut the F up.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? All these like Monday morning quarterbacks or whatever you would call
Donald
it in UFC.
Trump, Lady Gaga, Misha Tate.
Lady Gaga was a shocking one for me.
She was shocking. Trump's funny. Like these guys, I have no problem with them coming in. But when you're a fighter and you've gotten your ass kicked by this fighter, shut up. You know, it's like me as a Dolphins fan, like the Patriots losing in the Super Bowl and being like, ha, Patriots suck it, even though the Patriots whooped our ass twice. It's like, I'm going to shut up and stay off
That's funny.
Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, especially if I'm a Dolphins player, get my ass kicked by this team.
No, I agree with you.
Who do you guys have in the rematch? Ronda or Holly?
Holly Holmes looked freaking legit. I don't know. Holly Holmes just she just looked legit.
She did, and what's crazy is I don't know if you guys heard this. I just heard it driving over on the herd, but Ronda can't train or something for like 2 months because she like busted her face.
Oh, too bad.
So she's like done for like 2 months of doing any like physical activity. Which
she had like stitch. She had to spend the night. She spent the night in the hospital, and I believe she split her lip and had to get stitches in her lip.
But there's something like the UFC. Puts like the clamp down on her for doing something. I don't know if it's like sparring or something for like 60 days.
I wonder if she got like a
that.
concussion
Maybe.
too or something.
Rematch, Trevor, Ronda or Holly?
You know, I'm going to believe, it all depends on when it is.
Okay.
But
I think she can't fight again for 8 months or something. Like she's not going to fight again until July of next year. So let's say August of next year.
If Ronda, and I don't know how she trained, I don't know what goes behind the scenes, but I think now that she's lost, I think she'll come back. She'll figure things out. Maybe she'll have a plan that, hey, I didn't knock her out in 60 seconds. Now what do I do? Because that seemed what was going on. I think Rousey gets her in the second one, which makes it fun because then we get a third one.
Yeah, I think Ronda wins too. And there was another thing in what I was reading that said, Ronda losing kind of like saved her career because the way that her career was going and the way that she was getting, it just, you know what I mean? Like she really needed to be grounded again so that she
grounded.
could, or humbled, I guess is maybe the word.
No,
so. She, I want to say Ronda. I want to say Ronda. I don't know. I really like Holly too, though. That's a tough one for me. I'm gonna go with Ronda.
Okay, I'm gonna say I say Holly.
Ooh.
So
it's a tough one.
In a year, we'll have to see. We'll see.
Well, it'll be interesting too because a lot of the other fighters, like Ronda Rousey's technique, not that I'm an expert on this at all, but like it seems like her technique is to get him down to the ground. It's short, it's quick. So now Holly was a little bit longer of a fighter. So now before that next fight against Ronda Rousey again, Holly's gonna probably fight other people. So I wonder if these other people that if the fight was longer with Ronda might have stood a chance if she's gonna get. Is Holly even gonna be the one in July that has a belt? Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, now Ronda would also have tape to watch a little bit more of Holly.
She better brush up on her boxing skills. I think that's where she was lacking.
Though the next fight that Ronda's going to have is with me.
Why?
Because of this Roadhouse thing. Or not with Ronda. I don't want to fight with Ronda, but the executive producers, whoever are creating This Roadhouse remake. It's on. Let's do this.
Okay, you guys have to face Trevor.
Octagon.
Hashtag TMS Talk. Let's move on to MLB award winners. Okay, so MLB is handing out their hardware, postseason hardware. So far, Chris Bryant has been awarded the National League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
and
Trevor.
your Cubs, yep. Carlos
Right.
Correa,
Yeah, right.
Rookie of the Year from the AL. Bryant was a unanimous winner. Correa
Mm-hmm.
won. Very close vote. Do you guys agree or disagree with the Baseball Writers Association's pick for Rookies of the Year for AL and NL?
Absolutely agree.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, geez, these two young guys, helps catapult their teams that weren't supposed to even be in the postseason,
The Cubs.
the Cubbies, to get to the postseason and have nice runs.
Yeah, it's like when you got a player like this, and I feel like with these guys, Bryant, third baseman, how do you say his name? Correa, shortstop. It's like those are the commanding positions on the field, and both these guys as rookies had that leadership on the field. And I feel like that's something that, you see it a lot in those positions, but I guess, once you're a good shortstop or a good third baseman, you're there for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
That's what we hope.
That's
Well, and what made Brian so fun, too, is they moved him around. He was mainly third base, but they would, move him around
Yeah.
where they needed him. And the guy's just a stud.
He is a stud. And then you guys have another accolade right now, Manager of the Year.
Joe Madden.
Manager of the Year.
Yeah.
This is his third Manager of the Year award. And the Cubs, of course, got swept in the NL. Sorry.
By the Mets.
By the Mets. But you guys are making up for your shortcomings with your hardware that you're winning. Madden, I'm not even going to ask you if you think he deserved it, because of course you think he deserved it.
Well, he definitely deserved it.
Yeah.
Because basically what I just said, the Cubs, even as a Cubs homer, I like to be realistic. I didn't think they'd even get to the playoffs. I thought they'd fight for a spot.
Not even with Back to the Future prediction. You didn't think
I
they were
know.
gonna get to the
I
playoffs?
should have known better. But here's the thing. A lot of people, they were third in their division, but they were also third. They had the third best record in all of baseball.
Which was crazy,
The
yeah.
NL Central had the three best records in baseball. So, yeah, I give it up. Joe Madden, the perfect guy to hire for this young team.
For the babies, and then Bannister, AL Manager of the Year.
Yeah, right there. The Texas
Texans,
Rangers were
yeah.
supposed to be crap this year.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
It was supposed to be all Angels and and
Disappointing Angels, by the way.
big time.
All that money, and for what?
Nothing.
And then Cy Young predictions. Greinke, that's my NL Cy Young prediction, even though I know most likely he will not, but I'm a Dodger.
Really?
A Dodger. How do they say it?
Doink, 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 doink.
Doyer's homer. That's my hope, at least.
See,
Trevor, Steph.
I don't know. I feel like, and we were talking about this earlier. For some reason, David Price was ringing in my head as being a Met at some time. And I think I'm thinking of right. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, they're saying it's the fight between Price and Keuchel.
Oh, for the AL.
Keuchel.
I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. How do you pronounce it?
Keuchel, yeah.
Which I think he'll win.
Okay.
I think he'll win too.
Yeah.
And which is interesting because it's, the Astros, when have the Astros been so, they're good and they've always been
Yeah.
good, but they've kind of not been so relevant.
They have not.
Yeah,
been
they
relevant.
were. They're like the Cubs. Those. I wouldn't be surprised if those teams met in the World Series next year because they're young.
What?
They were ahead of their time.
Mets are pretty young too though, yo.
The Mets are young. No, for sure.
That's a very bold prediction.
They've got young pitching, and
Okay.
the Mets will. Yeah, the Mets will definitely be back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The thing with the Mets that they have to watch out for is the Nationals,
Oh,
which
yeah.
were supposed to be all like
They were,
that
yeah.
lineup is stoked. If a new manager can light a fire on their ass, they're right there. But the whole thing with Arrieta and Greinke, I truly believe that Arrieta should win this,
Yeah.
even as a Cubs fan. Just if you put their stats next
Look
to
at
each
you
other,
trying to do a
they're-
sweep, a
they're
postseason award sweep.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
Arrieta was almost unhittable.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
was against the Dodgers.
And then what happened to the
What?
Mets? But go ahead.
Well, that's okay, but the
You need a
Dodgers
broom?
lost. The Dodgers lost to the Mets
You need
too.
a broom.
You're right.
I
they
actually
did.
would have much rather the Cubs face the damn Dodgers.
I would have too,
If they
actually.
would have
Well,
just
'cause they
done their
would've won.
damn work. I know the Cubs would definitely would have beat the Dodgers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is
So Greinke, Arrieta.
Greinke should win it, or excuse me. Whoa,
Arri-
what the hell?
Arrieta
Arrieta
should
should win it, but I think the damn sports writers will.
The sexier pick is definitely Greinke.
It's because he's a friggin' Dodger.
It's a Dodger.
Pisses me off.
Hashtag TMS Talk. What do you guys think about MLB postseason trophies? NFL, this is the year of the backup. The Broncos bench Peyton. The Rams bench Foles. Kaepernick was benched a couple of weeks ago. Castle has been filling in for Romo. He's only the backup because Romo is hurt. Always. And then Big Ben, which I think is interesting, had to back up himself. Landry Jones, his backup, got hurt. So Big Ben had to come in as the backup to his own backup. Really weird. So what have we learned?
That happened to the Jets 2 weeks ago, too.
With
Fitzpatrick. Then Gino came in. Then Gino got hurt. Fitzpatrick got to go back in. And I was like, oh, this is the beginning of the end.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So what have we learned this season from the backups? What have we learned about the teams? What have we learned about the quarterbacks who have gotten benched? What are we finding out in this crazy NFL season where the quarterback play has been subpar?
I don't know if we're learning anything. We've known that to win, you have to have a good quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, there aren't many good quarterbacks. It's
No,
crazy.
there aren't many good quarterbacks. And I feel like, I don't know, does this feel like the season of injury to you guys?
does.
I mean, I feel like almost every team, except maybe the Panthers, a key player is out.
But the Panthers lost Kelvin Benjamin before the season even started.
That's true. I forgot about that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And then
But that was
the
before the
Bengals don't
season.
have any major injuries either. The Bengals, the Panthers.
Except that they just lost to the Texans.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, what
but
was
you know what?
that?
That's a good loss for them. I'm glad they went ahead and lost.
You know what's crazy? It's so funny to divert it for a second that team rivalry, like the Houstons have beat the Bengals for the past years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how some teams just have that rivalry.
They do.
And no matter what, you can be undefeated, you can be 8-0, and you can be 3-5 or whatever the Texans were, 2-5, whatever they were.
Horrible record.
And they win.
Well, and what's funny about it is it's always TJ Yates.
TJ Yates, yeah.
The backup for Brian Hoyer because
Yeah.
Hoyer got hurt.
Yeah.
And then TJ Yates comes in and he beat them in the playoffs.
TJ
a
Yates
couple
was
years
stello.
ago. It's like-
He played lights out. He was awesome.
He looked great. And you know what? Everybody's like jumping on Andy Dalton. And granted, he didn't play that well. But Tyler Eifert, who's probably one of the most sure-handed tight ends, dropped 4
key
easy
and
passes.
then
Like, you can't hit
Green-
the numbers. You got to catch the ball.
You got to catch the ball. And AJ Green dropped that last pass on that 4th down that would have helped drive the Bengals down the field to hopefully give them a touchdown to win the game. So that was an uncharacteristic game for those receivers and tight ends for the Bengals.
And I had Tyler Eifert on my fantasy team, and I
the
needed
thing
to
with
win.
Eifert, too, it's like you saw Eifert. It was almost like he was scared. I mean, that one that he dropped when Brian Cushing was like coming down his throat, it was like he was like, oh, I don't want to get tackled.
It was
It's
so
crazy.
weird. And then Dalton missed Eifert when he was wide open when the DB fell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Eifert's like wide open and could possibly take it to the house.
To
He
the
might have gotten
touchdown,
caught. But Dalton misses him.
That was just a huge brain fart. And because the Bengals have such not even mediocre, because they always lose in the first round of playoffs, I think because they were 8-0 at that time, this was a good loss for them to go ahead and figure out what are the kinks that we need to work out. Like what are the offensive mental
they'll
mistakes
bounce back.
I think they'll bounce back
Not
too.
this week though, y'all.
Oh, well,
Not
they
this
have
week.
the Dolphins this week.
They have the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, they have the
baby.
Cardinals this week.
I don't know, man. Let's see.
I mean, well, I for one have Peyton Manning as my fantasy quarterback.
What is wrong with you?
Now,
Yikes.
He should have retired last year. Should have retired.
Well, in my league, I think I picked fifth or sixth for quarterbacks, and I was left
Who's your
with him.
backup? Put him in.
My backups are Matthew Stafford, who you never know what you're going to get from him, and then Tyrod Taylor. So this weekend, the Lions played the Packers.
And they won.
So I was like, oh, you know, Matthew's going to have an average game. I did not know that Peyton was going to get benched. And what I find interesting about Peyton Manning is that if he came into this game with all these injuries, then it's very ironic that we're just now discussing the injuries after he had the worst game of his career. If his ribs were hurting, his foot was hurting, his arm was hurting, let's say that before the game. Don't use it as a convenient excuse to excuse why he played like a high school Division II quarterback. Like, say that stuff before the game. Don't use it as an excuse.
They love protecting
They
Peyton
do.
Manning.
It's ridiculous.
Well, because the guy's a legend. I mean,
yes.
whether or not he sucks now and that he should have retired a year ago, I mean, you got to think about it. The Broncos, they were going strong and strong and strong. The weakest link was Peyton Manning.
He was a
when you're saying your weakest link is Peyton Manning, it's time to do something.
Thank you.
And I'm curious about Osweiler. I mean,
Yeah, I feel
honestly,
First start in his 4
this
years
dude's
in
got
the
a
league.
cannon. I mean, the guy, hey,
Listen,
he doesn't have NFL
he
experience.
does not have NFL
But
experience.
I'm saying he might be one of those. their team is so good. He just needs to be able to manage the damn game and then maybe drop a bomb or two here or there. I mean,
but not even that. And he's been learning under a veteran like Peyton Manning.
That's true.
All he's seen is smart football, and I feel like that really, really helps.
And Peyton's Achilles heel is that he's not play calling like he used to. Like, how are you going to take from this 39-year-old quarterback who, for his entire career, is used to calling the plays? Like, Kubiak's offense obviously doesn't fit with what Peyton Manning is used to. And I think that has something to do with that. Also, his age, his
Peyton's
injury.
39.
39 years old.
Yeah, but you say it like that. It's like you look at Tom Brady. He's 37. It looks like they look like they're 10 years different.
But Tom Brady, he also wasn't given a brand new offense, all of a sudden under a new
I'm just
coach.
saying as in their own personal.
Oh, yeah, like how they look, how they carry themselves. Or
how they're getting hurt, how they, like I feel like Tom Brady looks. And, I don't like to defend Tom Brady, but, let's call it how it is.
Tom Brady's a cutie.
He could be late 20s. That's what he looks.
Yeah. Well, and I think the neck surgery, I mean, a lot of times we forget about that. Like, this guy wasn't able to, like, exercise or do anything for almost a year, whatever it was.
But wasn't Brady out for that year as well? Didn't he have a year where he was out?
But not with, like...
It wasn't a neck injury.
He was hurt. Yeah.
But even in the same sense, it's like when you've got a neck injury like that and you're having these reoccurring problems and these reoccurring injuries, like what does it take to make you realize maybe it's time?
Kobe.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sorry, did I say that?
What? I know, yeah. Peyton should just, hey, you can't blame the guy. He saw this amazing team. He's like, I got one more year left in him. I just hope that this is his final season. And yeah, it would suck the way he went out. But he can't come back next year.
He cannot.
Nah, he needs to. Nah.
Who knows if he'll come back this year? I mean, we'll see what Brock Osweiler does. He could be terrible. And
is he starting this weekend? Did they already say
He's
that?
starting, yeah.
He is starting.
It's a cold day when Peyton's gotten benched for someone who's never started in his NFL career. Foles was benched in St. Louis. Now, who's feeling worse right now? The Eagles for having gotten Sam Bradford.
That's what I
said. Or the Rams for having Nick Foles. I just spit everywhere. I think they both should be face-palming right now.
That's so funny. My note for this topic was Foles-Bradford trade, total backfire, both shit.
Horrible.
Because Nick Foles, well, he started out great with the Eagles, and then he became crap, and Sam Bradford is just not lived up to expectations.
No. I mean, why did you guys think that not you guys, but why did anyone think that Sam Bradford would be a viable option? He has not been healthy since Oklahoma. I didn't understand I did not understand it. I didn't understand Chip Kelly's thought process. I know I always rag on Chip Kelly.
What I've been thinking about this, and who do you guys think, though, we got this quarterback problem. What quarterbacks do you think are being looked at in college right now? There's not enough.
Who's coming out, though?
There's not enough.
It's a weird thing. In college football, it's a weird thing because when you look at the Heismans, because that's usually what you kind of like judge, which quarterback's going to come to the NFL. Obviously, there's some sleepers. I don't think there's a single quarterback in the Heisman race right now.
That stands alone. That's what I'm saying.
Alone.
They're all like running backs: Ezekiel Elliott, Fournette, Henry. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And the thing is, the best college quarterbacks right now are like Trayvon Boykin, who's probably not
he's not an NFL
He's not an NFL quarterback. There's the guy from Memphis, Clayton.
So are we going to see sloppy football for the next couple of years? I mean,
probably.
I like how when the Tom Brady's, and I do not like Tom Brady, but I like the fact that there's always a Tom Brady, or I guess Aaron Rodgers had a little bit more fanfare coming into the league.
What's happening with him though?
What do you mean? Oh, he's turned into like a machine. What?
Aaron Rodgers?
No, Tom Brady.
Oh.
You said Aaron Rodgers. I said, what's happened to him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. But, you had the Tom Bradys who got drafted sixth round. And then you had to find these sleepers who come from these Division II schools, perhaps. That's the only thing I can make any sense of at this point. I cannot even think of what Division I quarterback could come into the league next year and make an impact like right away on an NFL team. I can't even think of one.
Yeah, I can't either. And, there's probably some sleepers out there that might be like 5th or 6th round draft picks.
Deshaun
JT Barrett maybe from Ohio State.
But JT Barrett, Cardell, and
Cardell, that guy shouldn't even be starting for Ohio State.
You don't think so?
No, he's got benched already.
I mean,
JT Barrett is the guy.
Yeah, he got benched, but he also won a championship last year.
He had a
that
nice.
Was last year, girl.
Hey, he had
That's old news.
Oh no!
It's seriously. I mean, he had a nice run.
Okay.
But when he got the reins for Ohio State, granted he didn't lose,
Yeah.
but they were playing a bunch of crap teams, and they were in dogfights.
Okay,
Yeah.
they were.
Like, if
They
JT
were.
Barrett's starting the whole season, they're probably crushing people. Cardell
Yeah.
Jones, a little shaky.
Well, we'll see. Whatever.
Yeah,
Could
I
got
mean,
into his head. I don't know.
You know, and it is. We have these old quarterbacks, but then we got like, you know, Big Ben and Tony Romo. Romo's back this Sunday.
Romo.
Guess the Dolphins, baby.
Yeah. Wait, Dallas plays the Dolphins this weekend? Oh, yeah.
I'm rolling my eyes at that.
You know what's funny, though? I want, Trevor, I want your guys' honest opinion on this. You know, take the fact that they're playing your team out of it, because they're playing my team in a couple weeks. But do you think that the Cowboys actually have a chance? Like, do you
No.
think putting Tony Romo in, how injury-prone he is, he's just healed, like they're not playing terrible. Is it a bad move to put him back in, or a good move, like let him heal the rest of the season? Or, you know what I'm saying? So he's actually better? Or is he just going to get in, take a hit again, and be...
I think
Yeah,
the
it's-
Cowboys think they really have a chance because the NFC East
Well, I
is
guess
so
they kind
weak.
of do in that they got to win almost every game.
They do, and
Yeah.
they do, and I think that they think they have a viable chance to win the NFC East, and I guess statistically they do. So from that thought process, yeah, put them in, see what you can come up with. But I honestly think that it will come down to the Giants or the Eagles. I think it's going to come down to the very.
Don't sleep on the Redskins. The Redskins are right there. I think they're second in the. They're right there.
I mean, but we got to look at the rest of the schedule. Kirk Cousins. I
Yeah.
mean, he had that fluke, awesome, perfect passer rater game last week against the Saints. But the
Well,
Saints are the
defense
Saints.
is terrible.
Yeah.
But
and the Saints fired their defensive coordinator.
yeah, well, he's
Yeah,
so
Ryan.
bad.
Oh,
brother.
the Ryan. Oh, Kevin McHale from the NBA Rockets got fired this morning too, which I do not understand. That's another conversation. For
Oh
later.
yeah, but yeah, hey, I don't know. In that division, I guess you bring Romo back, but God, they have to play the freaking AFC East, which, you know, as bad as the Dolphins are, they're still a decent team. They're not an easy out.
Yeah, but they're going to beat the Dolphins. Sorry. But
No.
the thing
Are
is,
you
I
crazy?
think that if you saw Dallas, the beginning of Dallas, the first two games they played, they were playing awesome. So I think they're going to give the Dolphins, I think they're going to beat the Dolphins. I think they're going to give the Jets a run for their money. I think they might beat the Patriots. Like, it's like those quarterbacks when they play together, Tony Romo. You know what I mean? Like, that happens.
I have
I think
no
they'll
faith
go
in
0
Tony
for 4
Romo.
in the AFC East. They might beat the Bills.
Nah, I think you're deluded.
Ooh. Hashtag
Not as deluded
TMS.
as Todd Bowles play calling.
Ooh.
Hey, man.
Fighting words.
He's not deluded. He's just wrong. There's a difference.
That is wrong.
He's just called the wrong plays. But you know what? I'm okay with Todd Bowles. I'm okay with my team. We're getting better. It's our first year with a lot of new moving
That's
parts.
right. Jets, J-E.
Hey, here's
And
the
we've
thing.
already won
Jets.
more games this season than we did last
Then you
season.
did, yeah, that's right. So you guys are on the up and up.
Hey,
Yep.
and I know I'm a homer.
What?
But if you're not in the AFC East, the Dolphins could beat you. That's been, they lose to all AFC East teams so far.
And then they go out of conference.
And then they go out of conference and they win.
Hashtag TMS talk. Are we going to do college football playoffs or the Warriors? We can choose one or two.
Oh, God.
Because we're running out of time.
I mean, you know what I would choose, but I think
Wait,
I was.
you want to do college football? Okay.
Yeah, but what would you guys like to
We
talk
can do
about?
college football. We can try, and then we'll
Yeah, I'm whatever you guys want to talk
The
about.
new rankings came out last night. The top four
yeah, I didn't-
are the same. Clemson,
Oh,
Bama,
yeah.
Ohio State.
Let's talk about Clemson real quick, and then mentioning the Ryans. How dumb was that? Like, what do you guys think about Rex Ryan coming out in the press conference with the Clemson's helmet on? I
think
mean,
it's
some
funny.
plays. You know that man. Like, I love Rex Ryan, but I feel like if it would have been a Clemson shirt, but the helmet.
Rex Ryan.
Well, I
guy-
guess that's why we're talking about
He's
it.
an entertainer.
that's-
I like him. I
I
don't
love
have a problem
him.
with
I love
it.
him.
He is he's really funny. I mean, he's a breath of fresh air.
He is.
You know, and we are talking about him. I mean, it's just.
He's an anti-Belichick.
Yes, and I love that. It's fun when these guys come out and do stupid stuff and spit some remarks here and there. Like Jeff Fisher talking crap about Rodney Harrison. That was awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I love when these coaches come out and do stuff like this.
Should Ohio State be on upset alert? Should Bama be ranked so high considering they do have a loss? What do you guys think about the rankings as they are right now? And does Iowa's strength of schedule or lack of strength make them a fraud at number 5?
I still think that I'm okay with, Bama having a loss. Like I don't the same thing we talked about last time. Like I feel like it's the same situation. Like they're actually getting more legitimate on how they do these rankings.
Okay.
In my opinion. I don't feel like you have to be undefeated because it's like you think about in pro football too. Like, yes, the Patriots are undefeated, but we talked about this too. You got to think about what their schedule is like. You got to think about what their schedule is like, the way that the cycles go. In 2007, they were 16-0 because they had the same freaking cycle of playing the same teams. And it's just not, and they've almost lost to the Jets. They almost lost to the Giants.
Oh, such a good game.
Right, but it's like they're not going to be undefeated. They haven't played any winning teams. So I feel like, when they take all that into consideration, it's okay if there's a loss, and someone's still ranked high.
I agree.
In my opinion.
No, I totally agree. And you guys are going to be proud of me here.
What?
Oh, shit.
I think the committee got this absolutely right except for one team.
What, Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
You think they should be ranked lower?
I think they should be 5th.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma State should be 4th.
Oh.
Because Oklahoma State is undefeated, which their strength of schedule isn't that crazy. But they put a whooping on TCU, which at the time was highly ranked, and they only have one loss.
But didn't they barely beat Iowa State over the weekend? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing with college football. Like, every amazing team is always going to have that scare.
True.
I mean, it's just going to happen. And they just came off of beating a huge emotional win against a TCU. You're going to have a little letdown game. The thing is, they came out slow, they fought back, and they won.
They came out really slow for most of the game.
Really slow.
Okay.
But they fought back, and they won the game, which is important. And that's the thing. It's like, if that continues to happen, now they have, who do they have? They have TCU and Oklahoma State. So they got no gimmies, TCU and Oklahoma. So they have no gimmies now.
And they could lose both of those games.
Right.
They totally could lose both those games. But it's, I would put them ahead of Notre Dame. And it was funny. I was in a Twitter battle with a buddy of mine because I was talking shit about Iowa. Because I'm with Colin Cowherd on Iowa's schedule is a joke.
It's ridiculous.
They're 60th in strength of schedule. So all these Iowa fans that are like, hey, they're undefeated. They should be in. Here's the thing. Iowa needs to have Ohio State win out, play them in the Big Ten championship, and then beat Ohio State. That is the only chance Iowa has with their joke of a schedule.
I agree.
Right.
But the problem is, Ohio State, they have Michigan State this week.
And then Michigan.
And then they go, that's
kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And that's fine.
That's
for
why
me,
these rankings still don't mean crap. Like
they don't.
Even Oklahoma State has those two big games. Oklahoma has to play TCU and then go to Oklahoma State. I mean, Clemson's in the clear. They've got two jokes, and then they go to the ACC. But here's the thing. That ACC championship game.
North Carolina, they're not going to lose to North Carolina. They are not going to.
Do not sleep on North Carolina.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I'm almost with Trevor on this one.
Clemson will not. Mark my words, guys. They will not.
I'm not saying they're going. I'd just say don't sleep on North.
Especially a rival like that.
I'm asleep on North Carolina right now. Get my Z's.
That's right. You getting me?
All I know is freaking.
I get my Z's.
And damn you, Stanford, for losing.
Damn
you, Stanford, for losing.
Yeah.
Because that hurts Notre Dame.
It does.
Because now, before Stanford losing, if Notre Dame won out and beat Stanford, they were guaranteed in that top 4. But now Stanford having 2 losses, if Notre Dame beats Stanford, I don't know. It all depends on. There's so much craziness left.
There is, and I like when you say that these rankings don't really mean anything, except that wherever these teams are ranked now will determine how high the teams that end up beating them move.
That's true. That's true. No,
although
they matter, but they don't.
Right.
For some of them.
So all this will change. I do, again, Clemson has been my pick from the beginning, my sleeper pick. I like Bama at number 2. I like Ohio State at number 3, although I do think they are on upset alert. I think they're going to lose maybe 2 games, maybe to Michigan and Michigan State, or maybe
that's okay.
And that's fine. I have no affinity. I have no agenda when it comes to Ohio State.
I would love Ohio State to lose.
They are going to lose.
I hate Ohio State.
I don't hate them, but they're going to lose.
I don't hate them.
They're going to lose.
I mean, I don't hate any of them personally, but that damn football team drives me nuts.
Alrighty.
Hashtag TMS talk. I mean, we'll talk about the Warriors next time because the Warriors probably at this rate will still be undefeated. I mean, what else can you say about the Warriors?
Well, what are they? They've got the Clippers coming up
tomorrow night. There's a 56% chance that they're going to win tomorrow night. So that means we have a 44% chance of winning. I'm a Clipper fan.
Well, you know who they have the following night? The Bulls.
Oh, the Bulls.
They got back-to-back
Come
toughies.
On, let's do this.
They got back-to-back
You're
toughies.
a Bulls fan,
yeah.
I'm a diehard Bulls fan.
Just making sure.
And
I don't know, all this Steph Curry, man.
Oh, he's like annoying. But here's the thing. He is annoying. He's so good that it's annoying.
But it's like you got... Yeah, I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
And I wonder, like, the conversation now is, should we be talking about Steph Curry as being one of the best players in the NBA. Like, is he? I don't look at him as an all-around player. I look at him as a pure shooter. When I think of Steph Curry, I think about his crazy free
3 points.
3-point shots and his half-court makes. I don't look at him as a defensive player, but he does play some defense. He does have good assist numbers, but I just don't look at him as like a LeBron James.
Because he stands out for shooting, but it doesn't mean that he's bad at everything
True,
else.
you're right.
And I don't think he's in like the ball hog category. But you know what I hate about that?
What?
Like, I hate that we always do that. It's like, people, is he the best NBA player of all time? Like, no, there's not one best. There's different best.
Except
like, no
for Michael
one,
Jordan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one will ever be what Michael Jordan did for the sport. No one will ever be that.
Yeah.
So to say the best, like, why can't it just be like a legend or one of the greats?
Or a great shooter.
Yeah.
He possibly will go down as the greatest shooter of all time.
ridiculous.
But hey, there's this season too. There's a lot of season to go. They're 12-0. Had a great win last night against Toronto.
Yeah.
Who's not a fluky
The
team.
Nets
That's a tough
almost, the
team.
Nets gave him a scare
To
though.
come overtime to win, which means to me that they are beatable. They are mortals.
They're definitely
They're,
beatable.
I mean, they're going to lose
Everybody's
games.
beatable.
But they're not
Yeah.
even going to beat the Bulls' 72-10 record, in my opinion. I mean,
I
it's
hope not.
it's so early. They're going to
That
get
was
tired.
Michael Jordan days, right?
Oh yeah, babe. 95, 96.
Yeah.
John Paxton, Scottie Pippen.
Pippen.
The Bulls
Horace
had it
Grant.
for 3. They had it 3 years. They had it 3. They were the 1, 2, 3 spot for most wins, right? I think so.
Probably.
Oh, the Bulls were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Back
it was
in
the
the
Bulls
90s.
72-10 and 95-96. The Bulls 69-13 and 96-97. The Bulls 67-15 and 91-92.
So who?
That's your nasty stat.
That's your nasty stat.
Nasty
She
stat.
took it from you.
I know Steph brought.
It was
dropping
about your team though. So
But yeah,
that's
yeah.
why.
So still mine. Steph's nasty stat. We just need one nasty stat a show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Will the Clippers beat the Warriors tomorrow night? I say yes.
I have to say
Because
yes.
you're a Clipper fan. We
I
adopted
am a
you.
new Clipper fan.
Damn right. Well, is Chris Paul playing? That's the thing.
Good point. I don't know.
If he
Yeah.
plays, yes.
About that Chris Paul
If
situation.
he doesn't,
About that groin injury,
By the
Chris
way-
Paul. About time for you to come on back from that.
can we give a shout out real quick to since
yeah.
we're speaking of the Clippers to Clipper Daryl
Yes.
for winning StubHub.
Can we get a round of applause for Clipper Darryl?
Yes.
Clipper Daryl, you represented, you rocked it amongst thousands of Kings fans. He was awesome. He was awesome, and
He was super awesome. And I'm super excited. I'm going to be on his radio show Saturday at 11 a.m.
Everyone
Yeah.
listen.
Listen
Where
in.
can they listen?
Can
I
we
know
call
it's-
in?
Oh, can we call
Dash Radio?
in? Okay.
Not sure.
Fan Truth? At
Fan Truth Dash Radio. Yeah.
Hashtag TMS Talk. Make sure
Yeah,
you guys
look it
watch
up.
Steph on Clipper Daryl show Saturday. Best of worst
Here we go.
A lady pens a letter to the Charlotte Observer in North Carolina about her disgust over Cam Newton's dab end zone dance. Jarvis, do we have the Cam Newton dab dance? We can't see, so you have to tell us when it's. Okay, so he gets into the end zone against the Titans, and he dabs on him. You were dabbing this morning.
And Avery Williamson had had enough. It's a frustrating day for the Tennessee Titans.
Frustrating, to say the
The
least.
celebration was excessive.
Okay, so
oh my God.
let me just read a little bit of what this lady who brought her 9-year-old daughter had to say in her open letter to the Charlotte Observer. This biatch says, because let me tell you,
Who clearly has too much time on her hands.
too much time on her
Please.
hands. She says that she was so surprised to see his pelvic thrust in the end zone.
Because he's the only one that does that.
And,
Right.
and his chest puffs, and that the arrogant struts in the face, taunting both of the Titans players and fans. We saw it all.
Boo-hoo.
She says that she refuses to believe that he's not a role model. You're paid millions of dollars every week to play hard and to be a leader. She goes on to say, my daughter sensed the change immediately, referring to his antics in the end zone, and started asking questions. Won't he get in trouble for doing that? Is he trying to make people mad, says the daughter. She's a liar. Her daughter did not say that. Do you think he knows that he looks like a spoiled brat? She goes on to say, I didn't have great answers for her. And honestly, in an effort to minimize your negative impact, I redirected her attention to the cheerleaders. Let me tell you, I was an NFL cheerleader. Like, we do a lot of pelvic thrusting. We do more pelvic thrusting than anybody on the entire field. And I can show you some
This-
moves on Periscope later.
This lady just needs to cork it.
Seriously.
What a freaking... This is the problem with the world and the children today.
Yes.
Is this freaking lady. Like, there is no...
I agree.
There is no need for that.
For her.
It's just her looking for some bullshit attention because she knows, like, the Panthers, they've read their letters before. Remember that kid that became a Panthers fan because he needed a team and he sent letters to all 32 teams and the Panthers responded to him. Do you guys remember that story?
That was when they weren't good.
Yeah, when they weren't good. Yeah. So it's just like, she just needs to find, she's probably I don't know. She just needs to find something better to do with her time. I think it's ridiculous. All these guys do these dances. It's part of the game. And I'm pretty sure that nowhere in Cam Newton's contract does it say under job description, leader.
Yeah, good point.
And, come on. The guy just scored a rushing touchdown. It was a quick dance. It was funny. If this mom wants to be upset with anybody, she should be upset with her own Titans football player who got in Cam Newton's face.
And afterwards.
It's like...
But before that, whoever sacked Cam Newton a few plays before was doing like the Hotline Bling Drake dance, like a sack dance on Cam. So, yeah.
It's like, come on, it's football. Like, these touchdown dances are fun. They're enjoyable. It's entertainment, for the love of God.
It wasn't even a vulgar dance on top of that.
It wasn't at
it's
all.
just some lady that it's like that lady that sits home and writes Yelp reviews all day.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And by the way, like, if your daughter watches Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber or anything pop culture related, I'm sure that she has seen something a lot more vulgar than Cam Newton doing the dance.
And all those other
get a
people
life.
are doing it for no reason. Like, the amount of adrenaline and stamina and what it takes to do the things he's doing, like, the man deserves to celebrate.
So that was the worst idea, lady from North Carolina
God.
from Nashville
Terrible.
who wrote that article. Charlie Sheen announces that he has HIV. There has been a huge social media fight about whether or not we should be feeling sympathy or empathy for Charlie Sheen. Some people are saying, because he's a celebrity, we're giving him praise for coming out as HIV positive. And then some people are saying, he's admitting to basically living an illicit lifestyle and coming clean with how his life has gone so far. So we should be praising him for coming clean. Others are saying, no big deal. He made these choices. Why are we giving him a round of applause for coming clean? Good idea for him to come forward so publicly, or none of our business?
I think, why didn't he come forward months and months ago when he found out and he's having sex with all these women when he's HIV positive, and who knows if he's spread it on to any of these women? Like, no, I'm not applauding him right now. Like, if he would have found out and came out, okay, that's one thing.
Apparently he did let his partners know that he was HIV positive, and that the two people he says that he had unprotected sex with after he found out knew, and those people were also under his doctor's care. So his partners knew that he had HIV. And the reason he said he didn't come out before is because he wanted to keep it close in his inner circle, and that he basically got extorted. He was paying people to keep it a secret.
So I feel like what we do to celebrity, it's the same like what we do to athletes. Yeah. Like, we'll say a professional we'll say he sucked the other night. This guy's a professional athlete. Clearly, he does not suck. And what we will do to people, to celebrity, we will rip them apart because in our minds they're on this different level than we are. And I feel like for anyone, I mean, I don't know about you guys, and like, thankfully, I don't think any of us here are HIV positive. But if for some reason, no, seriously though, yeah. But if for some reason any one of us knew, and to like, whether someone that you trusted lied and extorted you or not, to have your personal, I don't care what celebrity you are, and I know that when you're a celebrity, there's a sense of personal that you have to let go. Something like that is yours. Yeah. And if that came out in a way, the fact that now he's not denying it, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's trying to use it as some sort of awareness. I mean, and granted, I'm not saying I agree with all his lifestyle choices and all that, but for us to just be like, man, he's addicted, like, the guy's got something serious, and he's now, it came out, what probably wasn't his choice. He's not trying to like gloat on it or be cool about it. But I feel like for someone to talk about that on a national platform that does nothing more than creates a conversation that can educate one way or another, I feel like you not that he needs to be applauded, but that takes balls.
It does take balls.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, it's super easy for us to rip all these celebrities apart. but we don't know the whole story. We don't know. It could have been this one that said something so that they could have got paid because of this. Because
and that's
of
what
that.
happened. He said on to Matt Lauer that basically people were extorting him to get money,
which is terrible.
Which
I mean, it's great.
Which is
as long as he told his partners though.
Yeah,
I'm cool because that's where I was like, this is screwy. But if he was telling people, hey,
and we will get on Periscope after the show, so guys, make sure you follow us on Periscope to find out what we have to say about Ronda Rousey and Floyd Mayweather taking up for Ronda Rousey.
Awesome.
We always run out of time.
I couldn't believe that. I thought he was going to rip her.
That was my fandemonium too.
We'll do fandemonium on Periscope too, I guess, if we have time.
That's fine.
Thank you for watching The Morning Score, your top of the day fix for professional and college sports and gaming. Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat at Erica Renee D.
Find me at Twitter at Trevor Anthony. Go Irish. Go Arietta Cy Young.
Oh, and you guys can find me at I am Steph Z with an F. Also check out rarebreedlifestyle.com.
And I gotta put my little thing. I gotta do that. My little rare breed. Okay, I haven't forgotten. You can find all of us on Twitter at The Morning Score, and you can find us on Instagram at The Morning Score Show. Make sure you tell your friends to watch this on YouTube, on iTunes, Stitcher. Till next time, we'll see you. Dab on them. Can we dab on them?
Dab on them.
Dab on them. Dabbing to. We're just playing. There's no music yet.
Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBN Radio.